This is a game I've been working on for the past year. It's an RTS base building game called Phos. Today I will show you how the game has evolved over the last year. This is one of the earliest builds of the game. It didn't even have a name yet at this point. I was just experimenting with procedural generation using hexagon tiles and trying to make a 3D map out of it. This stage was just a proof of concept. In its current form, the game world was way too expensive to render. Each tile was its own game object. The performance cost increases even further when the camera is moving. One of the biggest optimizations was splitting the world up into multiple chunks. This significantly reduced the cost of moving the camera around. Then I switched to using Unity's new entity component system to render all the meshes. Each tile was now rendered using instance rendering, resulting in massive performance gains. With this extra performance, I was able to move the camera a lot further away from the map. It also allowed me to make the map larger, all while still having performance left over for the rest of the game. After sorting out the performance of the game, I used Unity's shader graph to make a custom water shader for Phos. I really like how the shader turned out. I think it fits the style of the game very well. Then I added terrain deformation and the ability to place buildings. With buildings came the resource management system. At this point, the game was starting to come together very rapidly. I added building placement indicators and tile decorations like trees and shrubs. These really made the terrain seem a lot more interesting to look at. Then I implemented the first version of the power transfer system. Each building required some sort of connection back to the base building. This can happen either by directly touching it or another building, or using the conduits. Next, I started experimenting with generating resources into the world. At first I was using Perl and noise to generate the resources, but that didn't provide enough control, so I switched to a cellular automaton. As development continued, there continued to be minor improvements to everything across the board. And then came the major addition of units to the game. This was one of the hardest things to get right, and even now it's still not perfect. The next major addition was clouds to the game. The clouds really helped make the game feel more alive. As development continued, it added more buildings and more interaction between them. There was now a clear progression between resources and tiers of the resources. Over time I started to like the power system less and less, so I replaced it with a much more improved system. This system would power tiles within a radius and also connect without having to be physically next to another tile. Not only does this system play better, it also looks nicer. I also made some improvements to the UI. And I added a research system to the game. This system was intended to improve the progression of the game. I continued to improve upon Phos and added new models and effects to the game. Now I started to work on quality of life improvements. These were based on feedback from community testers on the Discord server. Along the way I also added dynamic weather to the game. And that has been a brief summary of the last 12 months of development on Phos. I plan to make another devlog next month to cover the changes throughout the month. You can also join the Discord server to keep up to date with changes as I make them. And if you're interested, wishlist the game on Steam.